Welcome to Yael and Matt recap
Peace.
stuff. Yael got into a car accident.
Yeah.
She drove
No,
her
a car
scooter
got
into
into
a
an
car.
accident.
A car drove
Ah!
into her. So
Ay!
occasionally, if the recap is interrupted by
Screaming.
oh,
It's not a porn. The camera is not straight. Can you?
it's
balance
fine.
it? It's not.
It's a sequel to The Wailing. What? The camera! Oh, everyone on the podcast, like, who cares about the camera?
I care.
If you're watching on YouTube, there you go.
Oh, my arm.
Oh, my arm. We watched The Dark.
The car accident they've been to felt like a car like a
Wow, it felt like a car accident. Good.
It felt like a horror movie. The car hit me. Probably people don't know. So I was driving with my scooter.
Minding her own business, driving down the wrong way in a one-way street.
And from Eden Alley next to Newbury Street, a car just popped out very quick and hit me, and I fell on the ground screaming, "Ah!" And I fell on my hand, so I sprained my hand. And I have some stitches on my chin. That was the horror movie
You have
part.
one stitch.
I have two.
One.
She did two.
She did one stitch.
Matt, she put her needle twice. 1, 2.
To tie it. I watched it happen.
Oh my god.
You have one stitch.
It hurts.
It's one stitch. You
My
can't
body-
even say you have stitches.
My body hurts.
I have Stitch.
Crazy. I have Stitch.
Yeah.
I love Lilo and Stitch.
You have Lilo
No, I don't
on your
know.
arm and Stitch
Oh my
on
god,
your
but
chin.
my body hurts like crazy. The guy that hit me was very nice though. Everything's fine.
Yeah, he said excuse me while he did it.
And then he ran away. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
No,
so-
he's like we're in touch with him and he's gonna pay for it. No, but the Stitch part was like the Stitches part felt like
Stitch.
a horror movie scene. I couldn't feel much, but I did feel the string coming and go into my skin somehow. It was
Yeah.
a weird feeling.
She said I couldn't videotape it, but I tried. The nurse.
She said that you can?
You can't videotape. There's
Why?
signs in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah, so we got one picture, but it's not that good.
Oh, well, I had to sneak it, so.
Good job.
So we're going to talk about The Dark. And we were in the...
Oh wait, but the part that reminds me the most horror movies is that now 3 days after, oh fuck, I have like flashbacks of the like him hitting me and I'm like ah like bzz, ah, like you know what I'm talking about, like
I know what a flashback
like
is.
flashbacks, yeah, but from a horror movie of like.
Oh, I
something.
know that horror movies sometimes have flashbacks.
Yeah, and also the blood that was dripping on the side, it's on the road. It felt like a horror movie, and I saw one on my white scooter, and I was like, "Oh my god! It's like in the horror movies we watch."
I cleaned it off.
Yeah, thank you.
Like
I appreciate it.
after we watch horror movies, when I clean up everything on the table and the dishes, and then the bedroom.
And now he's taking care of me, and he got me roses, and
Yes.
I'm very lucky.
Yeah. So
And thank you for all the people that helped me on the street.
Yes,
Very
and if you
nice.
left a nice get well soon thing on her social media pages, thank you. And if you haven't done that yet,
Give me some love.
don't. Just use it instead.
Hey!
Instead, just leave a get well soon iTunes review or copy
Okay.
and paste the YouTube channel.
Alright.
That's more efficient.
It's fair.
So we watched the movie. It was called The Dark. It was my pick. I didn't research
It's
any
a
of the
2016
movies.
movie from
2006 movie.
Sorry, 8
Yeah.
and 8.
No.
2008.
It was not 2008. It's 2006. So it takes place in. We thought it was England. Apparently, it's Wales. There's a joke somewhere in there because Wales is a part of Great Britain. Prince. They have a different
By the way,
language. They speak Welsh.
this movie is on Amazon Prime, but there are many movies of The Dark, called The Dark, on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So picks the 2008
I don't know
one.
about many movies, but certainly it's a generic name for a movie, and it's
For a boring horror movie.
yeah, okay.
I found it very boring.
All right, I thought
It didn't make sense.
I thought it was.
He likes everything.
I thought it was pretty well done. I didn't think it's not a movie that I would recommend or rewatch again.
No, okay.
But it was fine. If I was watching this on Saturday afternoon
I wouldn't.
in
I
a
would
hotel that I didn't have
I would change the channel.
Netflix in or didn't have a laptop, I would watch it. And it starts off, the music is by someone named Edmund Butt. So it was an all farts soundtrack. And we see the sequence over the credits. It kind of looks like a shipwreck. You see like people, bodies going underwater and suitcases and stuff. And then you see these are like old style suitcases of a bygone era.
It reminded me a little bit of a scene that would appear in the Pirates of the Caribbeans.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
And
really
so
like the time of like
yeah,
old things and clothes and
the time of old things and clothes.
yeah, like floating in the water.
Yeah, yeah. That's what a shipwreck is.
Yeah, maybe
So
they just stole it from there.
maybe. So it starts off with mom and a moody teen named Sarah driving along on the wrong side of the road back in England or the Great Britain, and they're off to surprise dad, and they get lost. They have a map, 2006, pre-GPS being a real thing, so they or maybe they didn't have service back then. The mom has a flip phone, so it's a older movie. They end up sleeping in the car. They wake up.
The mother is she has, how do you call it, two shtakukiot.
Ponytails?
Yeah, two. Like it's 5 years old.
I don't know. I didn't
Like,
really
what-
notice that.
I noticed that because a mother, when she does it, it's like, the mother is not okay. So,
Okay.
and also she was smoking a cigarette with her daughter in the car.
She's a teen. She's
It
already
does-
grown.
It doesn't matter. You'd never smoke with the windows closed because it was rainy outside. So
I think they were
she
cracked
closed-
a little bit.
but still, you'd never smoke a cigarette with other people in the car when the window is like almost closed. That's like, especially not with your kids.
Oh,
And another
whatever.
weird thing that I've just realized now, that was the only cigarette that she was smoking.
She's a shitty teen. Maybe she was just smoking it because she got stressed from the drive. Anyway,
Yeah, the rest of the movie she wasn't stressed at all.
well, so they get to. There's not a lot of places to buy cigarettes where they end up going
So
anyway.
it was the last one.
So
Don't protect her now.
so there's this big they're on near a cliff on the shore. There's a big stone there. Mom wakes up and she sees Sarah walking by the stone, so she goes to go see her, and she disappears. She turns her back, and then this little dead girl pushes mom off of the cliff. But she wakes up, and she's asleep in the car. And now the car is surrounded by sheep. Not evil sheep, like in The Witch, or goats, I guess.
No, this is good. What's the name? Philip.
Yeah, King Philip. And so they get up, they clear the sheep out of the way, and then go. Apparently, Dad lives right down the hill, so I don't know why they didn't just do this last night. Maybe they couldn't find a way to drive down the hill because they go down there on foot. They surprise Dad, who is the king from the first few episodes of Game of Thrones. For any of you guys watching, you may have seen him in meme form. One does not recap. One does not simply just recap movies. Those
Let's
memes.
go to England.
Let's go to Wales.
Okay.
No, you can't go to Welsh. Just like you can't go to Spanish. And you can't go to Hebrew.
So what is England?
Welsh is a
part of-
language.
It's
Wales-
a language?
Yeah,
Wales.
Welsh is a language.
Of Wales?
Wales is an island off of England. It's
Let's
its
go to
own
Wales.
country. It's its own country. And that's where a band that I really like is from called Super Furry Animals. So there's
And they have their own soccer team.
yes, probably. And they have their own folklore, as we're soon to learn.
Let's go.
So we quickly learn that mom and dad are either separated or they were divorced, which has been a running theme in many of the movies that we've seen. We meet David with 2 D's at the end.
It's like in Hebrew, David.
Yeah, I thought his name was Davith, but then we see it written down later. It's David. He's the
Do you know that
handyman.
in Hebrew, every David that you're gonna make, it's David.
David, okay.
David. David.
I'll be sure to
Dudi.
mispronounce all their names. 'Cause
Dudu.
I'm an American and they have to adhere to my will.
You, Matthew.
So they look around in the house. I mean, they're one of those parents that obviously they're on good terms if the mom came with the daughter to visit the dad, or
It was still a little bit awkward.
yeah, it was a little awkward, but maybe he was just working there for a long time and they're still together, but there's just a little bit of a disconnection. It's kind of ambiguous because later on he kind of puts his arm around her.
Yeah, like friends.
Right, but it was a little bit, friends, more of a shoulder arm around. This was more around the midsection.
Anyway, I wanted to talk with you about something. Not for now, but for the future. The girl had a telescope in her room.
Yes.
Which I thought that it was one of my dreams as a kid.
It was your dream to have a telescope in your room? Okay.
Like, not only in my room, but here we cannot use it.
Yeah, we can use it to spy on the people in McDonald's across the street from us.
That's true. We can buy just like binoculars.
Binoculars.
Binoculars. Huh?
Binoculars.
Binoculars.
Yes, we meet David, the handyman. Sarah
Which another thing
yeah.
about like the telescope, for example, there were a lot of like things in the movie that were kind of like unnecessary, like the telescope.
Yeah, they could have just easily put a microscope there.
Yeah. Like, and she looked at it.
It's a room. It's a guest room.
Yes,
they have
but why did
they're on the shore.
Yeah, but why the hell did they give it a moment of like her looking at it? Or another thing, even worse, that annoyed me, the Morse
Morse code.
So the girl is like obsessed with the Morse code.
Okay, because the house is on a cliff, which I believe is like an old lighthouse. So Morse code is something that ships would contact people using that to communicate, and lighthouses to see ships out there. So
yeah, but I'm
it makes
saying
sense
these
why they
things
have it.
are things that I would guess that they would come back at the end to surprise and save the day. Like the girl would code Morse her dad from the other world, Morse code. I don't know. She would call him like that from the other world or something, and it would help them connect it. The telescope, she's gonna look and she's gonna see something on the other side that would be part of the movie. No, nothing. It was just like, let's put a lot of clues of nothing.
So what? It's called a red herring. You get to thinking things. You don't want to solve the puzzle before it's halfway through.
But there was even not one single thing that led us to something besides the necklace that the mother found.
Well, if you're annoyed that things don't pay off.
I didn't like the movie. I'm sorry.
Clearly, I mean, we're not even halfway through the introduction to it. And
the worst thing.
Why did I take all these notes then?
There is a dog in the movie, and it just disappeared at some point. It doesn't dead. It's not dead, but they just stopped showing him.
Well, listen, there's
like the mother stopped
there. The dog is minding the sheep.
No, it disappeared. It didn't die. For me, I wrote like, oh, they have a dog, but then at the end, I'm like, okay, he didn't die. He didn't come back. No one showed him again.
I think that no. All right, listen. Let's just talk about things as they happen. All right, don't just list all your grievances.
Let's say what happened, and then like at the end, nothing happened with him.
Okay. First of all, stupid. The dog's name is Elvis, and it barks at the stone where Mom had the dream about the dead girl pushing her off. They explore the house. Of course, they explore the attic, and it's creepy. And then there's a ghost girl is walking around in the attic behind them that they don't see. Sarah knocks over a box of mysterious keys. They learn about the Welsh phrase Anowyn, the place you go when you die. And David tells them, well, there used to be a family that lived around here, and they all walked off a cliff together. They were led by the leader of the church, told him to do that, to find this...
The shepherd.
This new place, yes, the shepherd and the flock. Sometimes, I don't know if that's true of all churches, or maybe it's a colloquial thing, but you called your followers your flock, which seems demeaning. And then we learned a little bit about the history between Sarah and Mom. They don't get along, like teenagers and moms sometimes clash.
Yeah, the mom character is ridiculous.
Yeah. So she was going out partying, the daughter was yelling at her, Mom smacked her, wants to go live with Dad, so maybe that's why they're here. Mom's just aiding the transaction, or maybe hasn't brought it up to Dad, they want to bring it up in person, but...
I don't know. The movie is stupid. Oh. I wrote it.
Okay.
It's a note.
I'm glad that you read it as well. So they go exploring around the beach. Sarah is a moody bitch. David is down there salvaging bodies. Oh yeah, that's something that didn't happen. When that I didn't say. It was a creepy moment. But when Sarah was near the cliff, all of a sudden all these sheep were coming and like pushing at her. So you thought they were going to push her off the cliff, and then a bunch of them just went off there too. So she somehow like made it out. They didn't get pushed off there. So David's down there salvaging the bodies. David is salvaging the bodies of all these dead sheep. I don't know if he's trying to shorn them, get their fur off, even though it's matted in water. But
Welsh people.
yeah, you gotta make it.
Can you say Welsh people or Welsh people?
Welsh. They're
Welsh.
People are Welsh.
People of
Like
Welsh.
people from Spain or Spanish.
Yeah.
People from
Israel or
Hebrew.
Israeli.
They're
But
Hebrew.
you don't speak that.
Yeah, you speak Israeli.
Do you speak Israeli? Do you speak Jewish?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Do you
So-
speak Jewish?
So they're down there exploring the rocks. Mom finds glasses. Sarah finds a necklace with a key around it. And she also sees a pale-faced girl under the water. It might have been the girl that we saw earlier. And Mom finds a half a jaw. And then there's a fright. Ugh. Mom looks for her, sees that so she's in the water. She jumps in, and the waves are really kicking up. And
What does she see? She sees that Sarah, the
she
daughter,
sees her. She's gone.
is gone, and she sees like her shoe in the water. So
Yes.
she just jumps into the water.
Yeah, and she doesn't find her.
You
and-
didn't watch the movie.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
trying
okay,
not to
okay.
read every single
Okay,
thing. Okay,
thank you.
I've been criticized
We all
many
appreciate
times. Clearly, you don't want to relive this movie.
it.
Whatever. So they don't find her. Police come by, try to comfort her. Tells the father to prepare herself to not find her. I mean, what the fuck? It's like go back the next day and look in the water to see if she's swimming and breathing still for 12 hours. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer that she's dead. Mom goes to the room, has a nightmare of being tortured, needing help. She wakes to see a girl running away, so she runs after her.
So far, there's no like exciting moment or interesting, and the characters are pretty annoying. Like,
I don't know what I think. It's
the mother's
interesting.
character is terrible.
Well, I think it's interesting that
It's like overreacting on everything. It's like doesn't feel real.
you don't think it's interesting or exciting that a bunch of sheep just ran to their death
Okay,
for
so
no
it was
reason,
one-
or you see like a ghost girl push her off a bridge and then the same girl
Yeah,
go
but
under the water.
these are only 2 moments.
Yeah, but
the
you're saying
movies
that there's nothing
describe.
exciting, and then you learn that there's like this whole family that killed himself. Like, so something is making
No,
people
it doesn't.
want to run off the.
Like there, it's not
The
like
ledge.
frights moments that they did. It's like oh
I don't
my
know.
God, okay.
It seemed cool and creepy, and I wanted to know why people were going like lemmings off
They
the
just
cliff.
threw. I felt that they just like threw a lot of information, like not necessary information about so many things that I was like,
There's an
kinda like-
abattoir on their property.
I was like, I don't care.
All right. Well, so mom
And
sees.
another thing that I wrote,
Okay, what did you write?
he's getting
Every
better
time
at
I
it,
start to
but
say
he's
something,
trying, he's
and
trying to
another
be very
thing.
nice now. So I wrote that it felt a lot like a computer game. So like you know like those computer games that in between the parts or the chapters or something, you have like a short video that describes you the story.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so imagine that you're watching just the movie without you're not playing anything. That's exactly how I felt, and it reminded me a lot of Silent Hill, which I love that game. My
Did you
mom,
ever see the movie?
yes,
I know, you
it's not
got your
good.
mom to play.
Yeah, my mom played it. I made her. I
so
solved
weird.
the things. Yes, because I was scared, and I love watching other people play computer games.
Did you make her play it as penance for her having sex in the same room as you as a young baby?
Oh, come on! They probably don't know even what you're talking about.
Well, we talked about how her mom used to do that in the last podcast.
It wasn't the last podcast, and second, we
Okay.
talked about like parents are having sex
Alright.
next to babies, and
Yeah.
that's how it started.
And she
And then
saw a lot
he
of sex
said-
as a baby.
And then he
So-
said that my mom told him that they used to do that next to me.
I'm gonna
So
ask
now I'm
her-
a pervert.
You're
gonna
not a
ask my
pervert.
mom.
You're not a pervert.
You're gonna ask my mom. I'm gonna
Oh.
stand next to you when you do that.
So
Let's call her. Wake her up.
All right.
3 a.m.
So a bunch of spooky ghost shit happens. Like the mom sees the girl on the wall, and she's a Welsh girl, and she talks to her. You won't find her here. This is where sheep go to die. The shepherd. This is all his making. And then Dad is out searching on a boat, obviously just searching for the body. They still don't find it. So the mom starts sketching the girl, and Dad's trying to comfort her until he learns that Mom is seeing dead girls, and that's a little bit weird. He can't give up the fact she thinks that the daughter's still alive. She keeps going exploring through the weird abattoir. Then goes to the local library, which I don't know how far she had to travel. Probably pretty far from where
No
they
one
were.
knows. They didn't give us the right information about the movie.
Well, I wanted geographic coordinates of the entire.
No, the way
Welsh
that she's
landscape.
going to the library, like something.
Well, presumably she had rented a car from somewhere to
No,
get there.
it's
Anyway, so she researches like the death of sheep. This is all based on a book called Sheep, by the way. And the librarian tells her a story.
What, the movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's at the beginning. And then the librarian tells the tale of a girl being pulled over to the other side, like some Welsh folklore stuff. And then her father had to go through the dark side to another dimension to get her back. Maybe that is what the dark is. There's no point in the movie where
Nothing is really dark.
It's not like darkness is when spooky things happen, because
Even the name of the movie doesn't have any connection to the movie.
I mean, what would you have rather
And then
called
at some
the movie?
point-
What would you rather have called this
The
movie?
sheep,
I feel like the sheep
The
don't factor
shepherd.
in it that much.
the girl. Not the dark. Nothing was dark. The other side.
Yeah.
Nothing was dark. I had no
I
idea
would
what's
call
going on
it-
in the movie.
I would call it Whale's Tales.
Okay. Whale's boring tale.
Alright. Well,
And then at some point, I'm not sure what was the point, but he wrote, fell asleep, continue tomorrow. We both fell asleep. And I just told him, like, let's just go to sleep.
oh yeah, I
didn't
forgot.
feel
We did watch this movie a few days ago, and the second day we tried to watch it, she was angrily folding laundry half the time, so that probably didn't help her enjoyment of the movie. We learned the
Right,
dead girl's.
exercise.
We learned that the dead girl's name is Ebrith. I thought it was Ebril at first, and we learn more about her because she shows up and she's in the house, looking less zombie-like, more alive, but with weird old girl questions. Because the mom sees her, tells the dad about it. Dad doesn't believe her. Then, of course, meets her, and then they start talking and hanging out, and they learn what happened with the shepherd's father. And
I have something that I forgot that we passed it.
okay, let's
I felt
recap
that-
your recap.
So the script, I didn't like the script, I didn't like the story, obviously. But it wasn't like...
Did you like the Butts music at least?
No, I didn't like the music
Okay.
either. The music is annoying. I just forgot to say, I didn't read all my notes.
Oh,
Do you want me to read all?
No.
So, so the mom character is super annoying, and what's with all the drawing? So she drew amazingly, like, portrait of the girl.
What's up with her being able to draw?
Amazing. Is she an artist? What is she doing?
I don't
Who
know.
is she?
We don't learn that much
We
about
know
her.
nothing about her.
So what?
That's
Some
like
people
important
can-
thing. She
a lot
just
of
knows.
people can draw well.
No, that was extremely well. It was like Picasso. Oh my God, where have you been like all those years?
Picasso?
Picasso.
And Picasso wasn't a sketch artist. He painted obscure.
Yeah,
like,
but he was like an artist. She wasn't like, we don't know anything about her. So then out of a sudden she just like
now,
drawing
if the
that
sketch was like
beautiful-
a big giant eye and a triangle or something, then okay, maybe.
Okay, so no
you have a
Picasso.
point.
All right,
Yeah.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Like some kind of like do you understand what I'm talking about? Like just give us a hint. Maybe she is an artist. Maybe she's just drawing beautiful.
Yeah.
But just give us something, because no one gave her any credit for that beautiful painting, like for the beautiful drawing. Like
Yeah.
the husband, the father was like, "Oh, this is bullshit," blah, 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 with his weird accent. Like it didn't say like, "Wow, that's beautiful. Did you do that?"
I mean, they have a little. I don't think he's giving a shit about her artwork when his
He
daughter
didn't-
just died. He's not like psyched that his wife is.
He
his
wasn't.
talent.
He wasn't that upset.
He probably already knew about it.
The father wasn't that upset that the girl was dead.
This
It
is
was
the
like,
most-
oh, just relax. Like nothing is. She's not real.
This is the most off the rails recap. I mean, I have 2.5 more pages left.
Oh my god!
Essentially,
why?
there's a whole plot about that. They're talking to Ebrith, and she wants the dad to be her dad, and mom starts hearing things in the wall, and she sees a part of Sarah's sweater, so she thinks maybe that's the portal to the other side to this. She's really buying into what the librarian told her about this whole Welsh.
Yeah,
folklore
another
thing.
question that I had about the librarian. Does English people wouldn't understand Welsh,
Yeah, English people would not understand Welsh.
but Welsh people would understand English.
Yeah, because they also speak English, but they have their own language. Just like Irish people mostly speak English, but they also speak Gaelic.
Okay.
So it's
It's
like,
like
their
Flem-
native language.
It's
It's
like
like
Flemish in Belgium. They would
maybe
understand
it's.
French.
But if you grow up, oh, you mean Flemish and French or
Yeah.
Flemish and English?
Yeah, Flemish and like Belgic French.
Belgic French?
Yeah.
I don't know. I cannot
Think
speak
so.
for that.
Okay, interesting. No, I was just wondering.
I thought Flemish meant just speaking in an English accent with a lot of spit in your throat. You know, phlegm. So, this whole thing goes on with Ebrith, and the mom is not giving up, and she figures out somehow that Ebrith coming back, obviously she's out of place and out of time, means that her daughter is still alive in this other place, so she has to go back there. Ebrith obviously wants to stay here because, they have telescopes, and there's fathers that don't torture their daughters because they're fucked up reverends or shepherds to treat sick children by cutting
They
them in the
don't
back
keep
of the
them.
neck like sheep in I don't know. So, you know what? Here's where the only time that the dark is actually mentioned, I wrote this down, was Ebrith was talking about how the sheep began to die, and let me back up. Like what he would do, he would bring her to this abattoir, strap her head in, and cut bloodlet to cure her sickness. And he said he was trying to take the dark from her. So I guess the dark was just illness that they didn't have the technology to diagnose because there was no technology. This is basically the Dark Ages.
They don't have technology. It's Welsh.
They barely have technology in the present day in this. They have a woman with a flip phone and the dad has a telescope, and that's pretty much it. And so we learn that
But it kind of felt like they watched a lot of horror movies and just tried to make a horror movie.
So we learned that basically Ebrith was the sick daughter of the reverend, or whatever you want to call him, I keep wanting to say preacher. He was the leader of the church. He was the shepherd, and he to cure his daughter after failing with all these treatments, he killed her by basically telling her to walk off the cliff, and then he got the idea in his head that if he killed and convinced everyone in the church to walk off the cliff, it would bring her back, and it did. But then all these sheep started to die, and then all the things went bad. And then she eventually pushed him off there, and then David witnessed it because he was a kid living there, and David realized what was going on because his dad walked off too, but he was too afraid to do it. So somehow he survived it, and the preacher shepherd guy was fine with that. He's like, oh yeah. Well,
You can stay with us.
I told them all to die, and I guess you're my assistant now. Me and my new returned dead daughter. And so he killed her and kind of didn't say anything about it to mom or the present day mom and dad at all, and just kind of tried to talk her out of it to just let it go. Let it go. Your daughter's dead. This weird demon girl who has already come back from the dead is back now. Everything is fine. And so the mom is convinced that maybe if she kills Ebrith, or pushes her back off the cliff, then the daughter will come back. And then the dad sees that happening. He's like, where the fuck did you get this idea? This is crazy. What are you doing? And she goes, and then Mom has to take her with her, so they both go underwater to see.
There's a lot of unnecessary drama though. Like I wrote that the girl was talking to the dad at some point, not Sarah, like the fake girl, the dead girl, and it was like a very, I don't know, like weird moment. She was like, he explained her that his daughter is gone, and she asked him, "Did you love her?"
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Who wrote it?
Everyone's got daddy issues, I guess.
Yeah, like really bad ones. Did you love her? No, she was a shitty girl.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for her to die.
Yeah.
And here you are here with me. Let's take care of you now. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, rushing through this recap, I'm maybe I didn't like the movie as much as I didn't hate it terribly. I thought that the folklore stuff was kind of cool, but so we learn a little bit more backgrounds. We flash back to the mom and dad fight before, and then we learn that immediately after the fight, Sarah tried to kill herself, took a bunch of sleeping pills. So
the mother of the year.
So she's already been dead and already kind of come back.
But the thing is that the mother that find out about that the girl is trying to kill herself, she would take more caution and she would be like more sensitive and she would try harder to be a better mom. She was like the shittiest mom in the world. She was smoking with her daughter like in the car.
Okay,
when
we've
the
already
daughter-
spent 5 minutes about the smoking thing.
She was like the worst mother in the world. Like I would kill myself.
Okay.
And I would success.
Well, at least she didn't have sex with her in the room as a baby. So
You don't know that.
So anyway, Mom is now, she goes under the water with Ebrith, and she wakes
There you
up in a darker reality. Everything is a little bit grimmer, a little bit more overcast than Wales or England's normally is. And
I wrote. Wait, I want to say that. I wrote the title of the movie doesn't make sense.
I know, we spoke about that earlier.
I know,
so
and I love
keep
to
it on
repeat
brand. So she fights with this shepherd, or she fights the Ebrith. She gets tortured, and somehow is able to rescue her daughter. She finds her, hears her cries, and they emerge from the water together. The daughter, at first, when the mom comes up, the daughter's nowhere to be found. And then when we see that she's much further up on the beach, so she must have come up first. And she goes up to the house, and the mom walks out as well towards Dad. Dad is very confused to see his daughter, who has been missing in the water for a few days, returning, and hugs her. And the mom is right behind her, and then he slams the door in her face because he doesn't see her because she's dead.
Also, the mother changed her clothes when she was like in the other world.
I didn't notice that.
She was wearing a tank top, and I was like, "Why? When did she was wearing a tank top?" But then when she found her, she was wearing a jacket again. I'm like, "What? What's going on? Where did you put the jacket?"
Maybe it washed up with all the clothes from the beginning, from people's suitcases.
Oh no,
Just
she was
floated on
wearing
her.
the jacket, and then at some point the jacket was gone, and then she was wearing the jacket again.
Yeah.
Come on, come on.
Oh, well, I don't know. So,
Basic of making movies.
so that's the first twist, that the mom has now become a ghost, but at least Sarah is back and with her dad, and she kind of witnesses them talking, and Sarah starts crying when her dad tells her, when she asks where Mom is, she did a brave thing. And then we learn that it's not really Sarah, it's Ebrith in Sarah's body. Dun-dun.
I have a note.
Double twist.
I want the movie to end.
That's a good note, because that's basically how the movie ends.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is our recap of The Dark. Thanks for watching. Don't watch it. The Dark.
Oh, now I understand what I was talking about. Matt never admits if he watched like a bad movie.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It's
I didn't
good,
think it
it's
was
good.
no.
And then I
That's not
explained to him,
true.
I was like, yeah, maybe.
No, that's not true.
It was a terrible movie.
20 minutes into Tremors, I said we should shut this off.
Oh my god, Tremors was the worst.
But I didn't feel like that. I felt it was annoying to have to watch it in 2 parts while folding laundry and watching you
at least I felt like
exercise.
doing something better with my time than like only watch that movie.
Yeah. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed us. bickering
give us,
and talking shit about it, look us
give
up.
us, give us comments. Press on the subscribe down there.
Yeah.
Or
SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. You can subscribe in 3 ways.
yes.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like the
our
Facebook page.
Share us, give us love, and tell me you feel better.
Yes. And and if you're driving the right way down a one-way street, still look both ways.
Look both ways, yes. Okay. And if you're a scooter, be careful.
Don't drive the wrong way on a one-way street. And
if you do, be careful.
And if you have only one stitch, just call it that. Don't call it stitches, because you're really embellishing.
I have a stitch.
All right, bye.
Bye.